Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here to Pool Dog Championship Arena in Las Vegas with coverage of the APA World Pool Championships. I'm your host, Jason Bowman. I'm joined by the Hall of Fame legend, Ava Lawrence. Ava, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited.
Feels great to be back. So, folks, we have a special treat this afternoon as we await the first of our championship teams here in Pool Dog Arena from the World Championships. We've got a special exhibition that we're going to be bringing you, and it's featuring two absolute APA legends, the two most decorated, arguably, I would say the most decorated APA members ever in Brian Parks and
Yeah.
Ernesto Bayaua. Should be outstanding.
Talk about the clash of the titans here. This is actually really great. And the room is starting to fill up. I think a lot of people are still playing or they're just coming in. But you're missing out if you don't get to see this match. It's about as good as it gets in amateur pool right here.
Absolutely. So if you are here in Las Vegas, you can make your way down here to Pool Dog Championship Arena, take in the match. And for those of you that are tuning in from home, let's fill you in on some of the ground rules for these guys. This is going to be a U.S. Amateur Championship style match, which means you're going to see a combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. It's going to be a race to 11, see up to 8 games of 8-ball and up to 13 games of 9-ball. The winner of the lag had the option to choose the format or the break. Ernesto has won the lag and has selected to break, and Brian has opted to start in the 8-ball set. Now, we mentioned these guys are absolute legends. Let's look at their resumes. You've got Brian Parks on one side. He is a 3-time 9-ball shootout champion in the black tier. That is the highest skill level tier in that event, and a 5-time U.S. amateur champion. So, obviously very well skilled and ready for this match. And then on the other side, we've got Ernesto Bayaua, 3-time 8-ball classic champion, most recently winning that title in August here in Pool Dog Arena. So he is the reigning champion in the purple tier, which is, of course, the highest skill level tier there. He's a former Masters champion, and he's also the 2011 champion. So like I said, Ava, I can't think of two more highly decorated APA players for us to feature here, and we've got them going head-to-head in this race to 11. And we're gonna sweeten the stakes, right? APA is going to give the winner here $1,000. Right, so we asked the guys. We said, "Hey, they're both here on teams." We said, "You want to get together? Let's do it." And so here we are. I think they are itching to go. Let's go to the floor. And it looks like they are just about ready. I also want to give a shout out to our referee, Mr. Brad Jones. You'll see Brad racking today. He's our league operator out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Mid-America APA has volunteered his time, which, if you've ever worked at our event in Vegas, time is a commodity, a true commodity when you have it. So we do appreciate him volunteering. So Ernesto will have the break. And the matchup of APA legends is underway, folks.
Table to open up really nicely here. Unfortunately for Ernesto, because that's going to bring Brian in, because no balls went on the break. And it's kind of a 50-50 rack. It's a little bit more of a mess with the solids, so if he can make the stripes here, that would probably be preferable due to the 2, the 3, and the 5. There's nothing major. There's a combination available, but I would definitely go with the stripes here. The 1 ball doesn't have a pocket down at the other end of the table. So we'll see. The question is, can he find a stripe to make? That 14 in the side looks real sharp. These pockets are not very friendly in the side pocket. So, oh, he's got the corner on the 15 right there. So, he's going to go with a 6. All right. And I'm sure that Ernesto is going to go ahead and go with the stripe here. You see our new arena. We've gotten a little flashy here.
It's got a facelift, hasn't it? Pool Dog Championship Arena got all dressed up for this year's event.
I love it.
A new pit layout, new arena set up.
I got to tell you, the crowd is, the crew has been really amazing as far as every year. It's gotten better and better. A little bit of touch here, a little bit of touch here, a few more cameras, and now the set to kind of complete that. So,
absolutely. It should be a perfect venue for whichever teams happen to make their way down here Tuesday night when we'll live stream the finals of the 8-ball World Championship. $50,000 going to the winner of first place.
It's really getting nerve-wracking out in there right now. Yeah. Oh, that's not what he wanted to do. Yeah, You know, when the balls are open and they're attainable to go in a pocket, the last thing you want to do is go into the balls. Rarely anything good comes out of that. It's one thing if you have to solve it and break up a cluster, but I think he's got a bank shot on the 10, but it's not necessarily the shot he was hoping to shoot here in this spot. And again, now he got at least got the 14 out of there. He's got the 11. He's got the 15 on the other side of the table.
Again, this is Ernesto Bayaua at the table. Ernesto out of Tomball, Texas, the reigning 8-ball classic champion. He has a team competing. He had a team competing in the 8-ball World Championship. He also has a team in the 9-ball World Championship. I know Brian's out here with his team for the 9-ball event. So the stars aligned, and we were able to get these guys together today.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that they could do this.
Absolutely.
Been very supportive of the amateur, both, like you said, the USAM and a regular championship. Both of these guys, if they had started earlier in their life and if they had different life choices or good things, bad things, whatever happens in your life, to be able to spend 8-10 hours a day practicing, who knows how good they could have been. But,
right.
you know, and are they a threat to win a match in early goings, especially in a pro tournament? Absolutely. But they're still amateur players. They don't make a living out of this. They've never come close to winning a pro tournament. And even though it's due to the men's, especially the men's pro tour being kind of unorganized, it's a judgment thing. But we know that these guys are on the height of the amateur pool, but not professional players. As good as they are.
I feel like you're heading off those comments about their,
well,
their status. That's
a lot
smart.
of people,
That's good
especially when you
thinking.
watch this match, you're going, well, as good as these guys are, now obviously they're going to make some mistakes and whatever it is, but they're going to be showing you how to play this game today. There's no question about it. But we do often have questions about how do we, you know, determine who is a pro.
Right.
And because the pro side is not quite organized enough on the men's side as far as letting us know who that is, we have to make judgments as we go along.
Sure.
And we feel pretty good about it. It's a kind of a teamwork between the league operators and the national office.
Right. You know, it's interesting here. We mentioned Ernesto won the lag, which meant he opted to take the break. Brian selected the format. I thought it was interesting he selected 8-ball.
I was surprised.
You know, obviously he's got the 3 9-ball titles, but
Brian has the 9-ball titles. Ernesto has the 8-ball titles. On the other hand, choosing 9-ball is dangerous because that means you're giving up the break to the opponent. So you don't, you know, most of these players will choose 8-ball first because they can get back into it. Winning that last game is important so that you get to have the first break in 9-ball, especially on a 7-foot table, where running racks is not, you know, several racks is not out of the question for these guys. And he just made that look easy, didn't he? Good job.
Ernesto goes up 1-0 in this race to 11. This will be the second game of the 8-ball set. And while we've got a moment, I want to hear a word from our friends at PoolDog.com. All right, here we go. Rack number 2 in the 8-ball set. Ernesto Bayaua with the break. Now leading 1-0 in this race to 11.
He's going with that center break. Oh, look out, cue ball.
Scratches in that corner.
Yeah, not much happened there. A lot of players will break from the side, hoping that 8-ball is going to go on the break. But players of this level, they feel they're, you know, a favorite to run the table. So they're not so concerned about making that 8, because the dangerous thing when you make the 8 on the break, if you scratch also, it's loss of game. So they'd rather count on making the ball on the break and running out from there. But instead, he's let Brian get in. But what a mess it is down the left part of the table over here. So he's got some work to do. He's got a good breakup ball with a 4, where he can actually, if he can get the angle on it, he can break those balls up.
Again, if you're just tuning in, this is a special exhibition we've got going here at the APA World Championships, an APA Legends match here featuring Brian Parks currently at the table against Ernesto Bayaua. Brian pockets that 1 in the side.
And I don't think you can hit that ball any better, Jason. He got just enough of an angle to not go into these balls. Pay attention which part of it so you don't make it worse. Go into the 7-ball right here and get that out. I think he left the 6 in trouble. No, he can just barely get to the 6-ball. Perfect.
These players competing for $1,000, winner take all. Of course, this isn't like a tournament here. This is basically just these two, and we've brought them in and set this match up, and we're going to give the winner here $1,000, winner take all.
And again, this is the USM format, so it's not, you know, per point a 9-ball. It is, you have to win the rack. So it's just like, and same thing with Masters, the same way we play the Masters. A little bit different race, but same idea.
Of course, both of these guys very familiar with the Masters format as well. Both will frequently be on teams here in the Masters.
And that was a foul. It looked like that was a foul because he stroked the ball, and as he pulled back the cue ball, I believe he struck the 8. And when the cue ball then makes contact with the 8, that makes it a foul. Oh, maybe not. Maybe he didn't.
Yeah, I saw him. He went over and talked to Ernesto, and then
and the
talked to
referee,
Brad.
Yeah, so it's all good.
They got it sorted out. Again, Brian is a 5-time U.S. Amateur champion, 3-time 9-ball shootout champion. Plays out of Breakers back in Bakersfield, California. I know he's waiting on his wife, Sarah, and the kids to show up here. Madison and Jordan. I think he said his parents were coming in to watch too, so kind of a cool thing for the Parks family to be able to check it out. I know Ernesto has his own entourage here.
And he's making a bit of an ad too for Big Time Billiards. That's kind of cool. He's got that on his mask. He has chosen to keep it on in this particular match. Just like in our tournament room, while you're at the table, while you're shooting, you do not have to wear a mask. That's how it started back in August as well when we were here. Due to Nevada laws and Las Vegas, the county that we're in here, the local laws. But halfway through the tournament, there were some people not really adhering to the rule, and they said, you know what, have the players put that mask on. And I appreciate APA fighting for this to be a sporting event, which means at the table while you're doing your thing, the masks can come off.
All right. Brian pockets that 8-ball, and we're all tied up at 1 game apiece, folks. Yes, Ava, it has been interesting navigating the mask requirements.
Yes.
It certainly has. No one loves them, I can tell you that. But we must do what we must do to safely hold the event, and everybody's being great about it.
It's not the end of the world.
No, it's, you know, and I thought the players in August were really great about it, especially when we had to change mid-event, and they were, you know, they were great about it. I think everybody just wanted to be able to have an event, right?
Like, right.
So somebody said the owners of Breakers are out here. Again, that's the pool room that Brian plays out of. Brian's sponsored by Jam Up Apparel. You can see the jersey or the shirt he's wearing. And Jim Pierce Cues. These guys get some great support from their local communities. Giving
Brad a hard time. All right. Stripe went in. And we'll see here. This looks pretty good again. The 9 ball is the key ball. This one right here to get on that. Oops, that's an awfully big drawing. Other than that, you can see the 14, 11, they're all wide open. So getting on this 9 ball, the fact that the 6 is blocking the pocket over there, whoops, right here, you can see the 6 is blocking this pocket. I'm not sure he could make that in the side. So solving the 9 ball here. It might be in the opposite, going the opposite corner, but we'll have to see.
Looks like some spectators finally making their way here to the Pool Dog Arena to take in this match. Seats are filling up. If you're here at the Westgate, come on down and watch these two outstanding players going head to head.
Wow, Brian forgot to hit that one. Just barely made it to the rail just to try to go for the combo and just couldn't hit it firm enough. We'll see what Ernesto can do here. He's got the 2 ball in the side pocket if he wants that. I'm not sure if he can make the 3 off the 10. Or will it squeeze by? We'll see if he has to go into the rail with a 3 ball or if he can make it straight in. No, try to make it off the 10 ball there, but no good. And somehow Brian finds himself back at the table, and now it's a little bit more open, and he's got the 10 ball now to help deal with that 9. So that was a bit of a favor from Ernesto, giving him a chance here to have the perfect run out.
Busy week here at the APA World Championships. Busy day, in fact, Ava. We've got, of course, the 8-ball open still in progress. A lot of the 9-ball players, like Brian, that are on teams now making their way here to the Westgate. So it's a full house.
It sure is.
The hallways are full. The casino is full.
And while we pointed that out, Brian just got real careless. You could tell he didn't even come over to see where he wanted to be on this 14 ball. He stayed at the top side of the table and just went, well, I want to be there, and then rolled it way too far. And you can see he's pretty much dead straight in, maybe a tiny bit of an angle on this 14. But he kind of made a mess of things there, not being able to come up table for the 10 more than he can. Just enough where he could come around. And does that 9 go in that? Well, I guess it goes in the side. All right, perfect there, getting on the 15. He solved that nice after being almost straight in on the other side. He managed to come out with a lot of spin, cheat the pocket just a little bit, and created an angle that way. And new leader, it looks like, right here.
Yeah, he's starting to hit another gear, isn't he? This is kind of what you see with these guys. They start to get on a roll, and it can be tough to stop sometimes. It's interesting, Ernesto before the match was talking about whichever one of them was able to settle in to the table first. You know, they didn't really have a lot of time to get a feel for the table before the match.
Right.
So Ernesto thought the key would be which one of them kind of got adjusted the quickest to the table conditions. So right now, Brian Parks leading 2-1 after 3 games of the 8-ball set. We'll see 8 games of 8-ball and then up to 13 games of 9-ball.
And as you notice that they don't mark the pocket in this. Both players have agreed, and that is one of those USAM things where both players agree. They can go ahead and designate the pocket. You know, when you're playing in a standard APA, be careful with doing that, because if they come to me as a tournament director, if I run a tournament or you come to the tournament director does not have a choice but to go with the one that was, you know, take the side of the one that was in the chair if you don't mark your pocket. So, oh. Let's see, he's got a shot. A little more work in this rack than it was in the last one. 5 ball, it's the one that is going to create the biggest problem because of where the 11 is. Oh, that's the, you know what? That's the 3rd time. First rack, the last rack, and this rack. he kind of hit it too short.
Oh, it's interesting.
Barely got to the rail. He's done that 3 times now.
He was shooting there right-handed, right? I think Brian's a lefty, right?
Yeah, he was jacked up. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime you're jacked up like that, it makes it tougher. But it could be that his stroke is a little bit off, or just not paying attention, or happens to the best of them. It's always refreshing, I know that when I watch golf, it's so refreshing to me when they miss a 3-foot putt, because I can do that.
Sure. Can relate.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what Ernesto has here. Been away from the table for a bit. Ernesto, again, out of Tomball, Texas, where he plays out of Big Time Billiards. They're in Spring, Texas. Sponsored by Brutal Game Gear. Heather and Charlie Bryant. Hillbilly Bryant. You probably know Charlie Bryant. Does that name ring a bell? He's been around a long time.
Oh, yes, very, very well.
Ernesto wanted to mention his significant other, Teresa, sitting there in the corner next to him, supporting him, playing on his team in the 8-ball event. She's quite a good player herself. Has made a number of appearances at the U.S. Amateur Championship.
Mm-hmm. Players are calling out that it was a foul earlier, but
I think it got to a rail.
Whether they did or not, we can't really see it from here, depending on the camera angle. So
you're talking about the 2-ball that Brian hit?
Yeah.
No, I think it got to it. It did touch the rail.
Yeah, and if it did not, just so you know, the referee is there on hand at all times, but the referee does not jump up and necessarily call foul. It's if the other player. We do that because. Same thing with the tournament. We don't have enough referees for each table. So just like it is on a local level, you can have somebody come and keep an eye on it. It's up to both players. It's up to Ernesto, frankly, to say that, hey, did that hit a rail?
Right.
Brian is not the kind of player to cheat in any way, shape, or form ever that I've seen
right.
of. So he may not have paid attention, or it may have grazed the rail.
Yeah, I do believe that 2-ball it did touch the rail, I believe. So. We talked before the match with these guys. It's interesting. These guys are actually really pretty close friends. They've known each other for like 20-something years and have met numerous times, whether it was, the APA singles, the U.S. amateur circuit, other tournaments that these guys play in. They're very familiar with each other and very good friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I told them I wanted to make it out like they were like bitter enemies, but it was difficult because they're just buddies. So. But I think they both appreciate each other's talent, and they both very much want to win here. So
yeah. Yeah, this is a fun match for them to play. Obviously, it's $1,000 at stake, but I think more than anything, they just enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? They want to have a good, fair fight. So, but they really do want to win too. Because both of these guys are really competitive. So.
All right, Brian now, golden opportunity to take a 3-1 lead, pocket this 8-ball, which is not a problem. Crowd approves, now leads 3-1 as our referee, Brad Jones, prepares our 5th rack of the 8-ball set. Matt Bryson, I'm doing good, buddy. It's good to hear from you. Appreciate you tuning in. Matt, one of our very loyal followers down there in Louisiana. He's an Alabama fan, but I still consider him a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still friends.
All right.
It's all good. It's all good, Matt.
You can't let politics and sports get in the way for friendships. Because your list would be very short if you did that.
Brian will have the break here.
Brian is using the kind of the standard 8-ball break from the side off the rail, hitting that 2nd ball. Didn't get much action on the 8, but he did open the balls really nicely here. He's got the solids. It looks pretty good. 8 ball's the only one to deal with. So a good player now will get to that issue as soon as possible. If you're skill level 2, you're skill level 3, make the balls that you can. It's not a bad thing to leave the 8 ball in trouble, so that in case you don't get all the way out, which odds are you're not necessarily going to, but when you are a 6, a 7, and the balls are laying like this, you need to get to that trouble as soon as possible. You do not want to leave that for last. So you're trying to find a path here to, as soon as possible, break up that 8 ball. And there it is.
Nicely done. Very nicely done.
Still got some work to do here.
It's almost like he could hear you.
Yeah. Well, there's certain things, you know, when you're playing, I mean, certain things that are do's and don'ts, and that was definitely a do. He's looking at that 3. He would love to get to that 3 as soon as possible. That's his last one now. 3, the 5 ball only has one pocket where it kind of makes sense for it to go in. So 2, he doesn't want it to go too far. All right. Not kind of shaking his head there. Got more of an angle on this 7 ball that he wanted. He wanted to be straight in on the 7 so he could just roll the cue ball down, deal with that 5. We're out of sync here. We got to get in sync by next week. So he could deal with that and then shoot the 5 ball in the corner, the 3 in the opposite. Now he's got a little bit more work to do. A lot of spin. Oh, beautiful. See how he killed the cue ball there?
Yeah.
When you hit cue ball with a little bit of low, you're kind of hitting it with some speed, but when it hits the ball, it kind of slows down a little bit, and held it beautifully for the 5. And he can just roll this up. Nice. All right, looks like Brian has found kind of his rhythm here.
He's in the groove.
Yeah. All Ernesto can do now in the winner breaks format is to hope he gets to the table, because it looks like Brian's going to take a 4-1 lead. He got a little far on the 8, but he should be fine to make this in the side. Nice.
He's got it. And he will extend his lead 4-1 here in the 8 ball set. Again, this is a race to 11. They're going to play 8 games of 8 ball, and then they're going to switch to the 9 ball set. Get a view
and that's
here.
where it can get damaging. You know, somebody gets on a roll in 9 ball, and all of a sudden they win 5 or 6 in a row. So the last game of 8 ball is an important game.
Absolutely. Getting a look here at Pool Dog Championship Arena. Some folks filtering in after their matches today, taking in this excellent matchup of, as we mentioned, 2 of the most highly decorated APA members. There's some folks doing the wave back there. I like that. Arena does look fantastic.
I walked into the tournament room right before I came here because there was a player that was here that happened to be on a convention today, and he wanted to see, so I took him around, and tournament room is packed. All these players that supporting their friends from area, whatever, but it's getting down. This final 64 teams playing right now, and there's a lot of spectators.
Starts
in
feeling
there.
tense in there, doesn't it? You can feel it when you go in there in the later rounds. So
absolutely.
Ernesto finally back at the table, chance to do something here, hopefully. A little bit of a messy table there.
Yeah, this doesn't look like much fun.
You mentioned, oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, you mentioned all the people down there. We'll actually break the existing, our existing Guinness record for the 8 ball championship set in 2010 will break that here this week, or have broken it officially. We just have to get it certified now by Guinness. So
Are they here? Do they have to be here to certify?
they don't have to be here. No, we just have to submit some paperwork and things like that. But we will have surpassed our own record, or have surpassed our own record. So if you are one of the many out here who competed, give yourself a pat on the back. You're now part of the world's largest pool tournament.
I can't see that being broken anytime soon. God forbid we have
The
another
old- yeah.
pandemic. But other than that, I don't see that any event will ever be bigger than this one. It's pretty mind-blowing when you walk in there and see all the people. But everything has run smoothly so far, and I don't see a reason why it won't continue.
It's just hard to believe now that we've somehow managed to get everybody that had qualified from 2020 and 2021 here to Vegas, which was always the goal. And Ernesto not going to like that.
No, Ernesto a little bit off. But you know what happens to you mentally when the table is this messy? If you don't see kind of a clear way of getting out, you can't really focus on what's at hand because you're thinking about what you're going to do later on, and you're not real thrilled with what you're going to be faced with. So that one moment of taking your eye off the ball, even a player of Ernesto's caliber can miss a shot like that, but a lot of times it's because your mind isn't quite into it. All right, we'll see how Brian is going to deal with the 6 and the 2. He's got some ball. He can use the 3 ball here. He might be able to go into this right now and come up. The 3 ball is the ultimate because you can control the hit a lot better. Yeah, that's not what he wanted because now he's got to shoot that 3. He might be able to draw the cue ball back here for the 6.
Oh, somebody mentioned that Brian's parents are here, Jean
I
and
just met
Marianne.
them.
Yeah,
I just met them. That was great.
He told me before the match this is only like maybe the 4th or 5th time they've actually seen him play live, which is pretty amazing considering all the success he's had in the sport. So that's very cool. Again, if you're just joining us, this is a special exhibition here at the APA World Championships, a matchup of APA legends, so to speak, Brian Parks and Ernesto Bayaua. Brian at the table here out of Bakersfield, California.
He's going to try to come straight out. Did he get the angle on the 3? I don't think he got the angle he wanted because right now all he can but do is go into the 11. If he can hit the outside of or the 13, if he can hit the outside of the 11 and have the 11 break them up, that's one thing. If not, he's going to have to come down and back up to break those 2 up. Oh, he didn't put enough spin on it. Did he leave a combo? He did. Not the easiest of combos. And the worst thing about this combination here is he's going to have to play position on both the 2 and the cue ball with that severe angle he has. And as you can see, the 2 ball is going in towards the cluster. So he's going to have to hit this with some speed, I would think.
If you're here at the Westgate and you want to come down to Pool Dog Arena, check this match out. It is free of charge. Somebody had asked if there's any costs for admission. You're welcome to come down. Still some seats available. Another opportunity now for Ernesto, and he hasn't had many in the last, several minutes. So see if he can get something going. Both these players on 9-ball teams that'll get going tomorrow night, late tomorrow night. Our 9-ball World Championship will get underway.
Well, everything's open. I would think that he's going to play the 11 ball next. That'll take care of the little issue that was on the table. Not much of an issue, especially with the shot that he got to start with. And then the other thing that a player looks for is to take the trouble balls first. And if there's nothing tied up, normally the trouble balls are identified as the ones that are on the rail. The other thing a good player does, especially if you have straight pool background, is to kind of clear the table in sections. You don't want to, you want the cue ball to travel as little as possible and just kind of clear off one section at a time. So that's kind of the order of things. Break the balls up, take care of the trouble balls that may be on a rail or in a funny spot, and then just make it as easy as you can. Just move the cue ball as little as you can and have a good ball to get to from the last ball to get to the 8. Pattern is such a big part of 8-ball. There's obviously more, ways than one, but in 9-ball, you pretty much have your pattern. It's just about staying on the correct side of the ball. And again, making it as simple on yourself as you can. But 8-ball, it's kind of a player's choice, obviously. Oh, did he hit it hard enough? He did. Nice. Just enough of an angle to come out for the 8. Both these players are skill level 7, 9, 7 and 8, 9 and 9. And I think you should go through the record of these guys again, because there's some players that have tuned in that are not familiar with Ernesto and Brian and would love to know.
Yeah, Google them on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a good
way. You've got, let's see, you've got Brian Parks is a 5-time U.S. amateur champion. He is a 3-time 9-ball shootout champion. Ernesto Bayaua, 3-time 8-ball classic champion. He was on a Masters team that won, I believe, in 2015. And he was the 2011 U.S. amateur champion. So 2 of the most highly decorated, if not the 2 most highly decorated players to ever play APA. Ernesto cutting into Brian's lead, now trails by just 2 games. This will be the 7th game of the 8-ball set. But yeah, if you were to Google either player's name and the word pool, you'll see lots of matches from our events, other events that they play in.
And you can see Ernesto changed his strategy there. He's been breaking from straight on, and he's been, not able to make a ball or get the balls to open up really well. And he's been watching Brian having much more luck with it. 8-ball was heading towards the side pocket even, got some action on that. But the main thing was he needs to make a ball and keep control of the table. Let's see here if he does he have a bank shot? Yes, he does. This should be makeable unless if he can avoid the double kiss. No, he didn't. Just had that double kiss. It was a little bit too straight on, and the ball was almost on the rail there, so that was tough to avoid. That was kind of a one-pocket shot. Ernesto just banged himself in the head. At 4-2, you don't want to have Brian come in, and this is a nice table to come in on for him. Ooh, it was a nice table. Whoops. That was a little careless and unexpected.
This is the 7th game of the 8-ball set, and as you mentioned, the winner of that final game of 8-ball is always very important as they move into the 9-ball set because of the winner break format.
He's looking to bank it. The way he is aiming it, he was looking at the mirror system there, just doubling that distance to the 1 to find the spot on the table. Put himself in this situation. He's going to try to kick this 1 ball in. Well, it did about as, best as he could there, other than making the 1.
That'll give Ernesto another opportunity here.
Not an easy table for him either. So we could see a bit of a defensive game here unless he finds a bank. The last bank didn't work out too well for him, but we'll see. He has the 13.
Yeah, we've not yet seen a defensive battle yet, which we talked about. How would that play out in the 8-ball and the smaller table?
Mm-hmm.
But haven't seen it just yet. Pretty much all offense so far.
Well, he had hit that with a little bit more speed. That would have straightened out and gone in the pocket. Instead, here comes Brian again. Few unforced errors by Ernesto. He's played a good match, but he's made those little mistakes that have given Brian more than one chance at a couple of these racks. That makes a big difference, and that's where reflects on the score. 4-2 Brian. Well, the 3-ball obviously goes. There's nothing major here for Brian. He's just kind of taking his time to find his pattern. 3-ball on the side. And I'm a little confused what he did there. He's left a shot on the 2. All of a sudden, not sure why he came back all the way down to this side, but he's good. He makes it in the side. 7-ball is of a little bit of a concern, being that it's on the rail, especially with the 14 being right here. So he wants to get to that. ASA, no reason to try to get pinpoint perfect and play it in that corner on the right side. Oh, he did. And how did he hit it? Excuse me, how good was that? I mean, that was flawless. I thought for sure he was going to come the other way, play the 8 in the opposite pocket, but you know, when you're freewheeling, when you're feeling good and you know that cue ball make that cue ball dance, that was a great shot.
Put another one on the board for Brian Parks. Now leads 5-2 in this race to 11. This will be the final game of the 8-ball set. And then they will switch over to 9-ball. As Ava mentioned earlier, really important game here. The winner will take that pivotal break into the 9-ball set. So.
And Brian, Brian is kind of good at 9-ball. So he really wants to win this, and that could mean that Ernesto may not get back to the table if Brian wins this rack. I mean, obviously Ernesto is equally explosive, but 9-ball is definitely Brian's game.
I think the referee gave a reminder to the folks here in Pool Dog Arena about the mask requirements. Again, that is Clark County restrictions that we are under here, so
the players, just like in the rest of the room, for those of you who know that they're when you're at the table and you're actively shooting, you do not have to wear the mask. And I think that hurt. I think all the players here appreciates APA's effort to deal with the state of Nevada and get that to be approved, to be able to not have a mask when you're playing. That doesn't mean it can't happen anytime. The Gaming Commission came in August. We started that way, and then all of a sudden they said, okay, now you're wearing a mask. So it's a personal preference. Some of the players, like Ernesto, still wear the mask while they're shooting, which is perfectly fine. But so far, we haven't seen anybody can come in and complain. Players have been really good about wearing the mask and just dealing with it.
There might have been a couple.
Well,
might have been a couple.
Yeah. Well, let's not point fingers, shall we?
Yeah. Hopefully, when we're out here again next year, things will have become even more normal. We'll see. But in the meantime, Ernesto needs to get going here. Trails by 3 games. Final game of the 8-ball set. He's starting to move around with some speed. That's now I know he's starting to feel what he's seeing at the table a little bit. Somebody asking about Billy Thorpe. Billy and Skylar were here the last couple days. They kind of popped in and did some challenge matches with folks. Not uncommon to see different pro players running around here at the World Championships with their sponsors or vendors that are here.
That was almost disastrous for Ernesto there. I think he can, if he can't make this 11, he should be able to curve around it. Yeah, he's jacking up a little bit of right spin to get around that one. Just a little careless. It's funny how when there's one ball in the area that you end up behind it. If you don't pay attention, that cue ball seems to know how to get behind the ball, and it knows how to get into, especially the side pocket. You know, balls that pretty much can't be made in the side pocket, but the cue ball can go in. It's like it's a magnet. All right, so it looks like Ernesto is going to get this favored last game of 8-ball here. So he's going to be able to draw first blood in the 9-ball, and that's when these players really get explosive, especially on a 7-foot table.
Right.
Where you don't, shoot any real long shots. Ernesto. Very uncharacteristic there. But like we said before, even the best. He was jacked up a little bit, but still a little surprised there that he missed that.
Brian and Ernesto are playing here in Pool Dog Championship Arena, which if you're here at the Westgate, right as you come through the entry foyer past the restaurants, straight ahead is the arena. The doors just opened this afternoon, so you are welcome to come down and check out this outstanding match, this race to 11 here that currently favors Mr. Brian Parks. Looks like it's about to favor him even more. If he can finish out this rack.
I think I would go up and play the 2-ball here. Get that out of the way. We got a little straighter than he wanted. He's going to change his mind and just play this. Play the 4 instead. He should be able to come up for the 7. There you go. Then he can play the 2 in the side. That was a huge miss by Ernesto. Not only extending the lead here for Brian, but being able to have the first break in the 9-ball portion of this format is huge.
Absolutely. Pockets that 2 in the corner. And follows it with the 8 in the side pocket. Brian Parks now leads 6-2 in this race to 11. All right, players are going to take a quick break here. While we do that, we'll hear a word from our friends at pooldog.com.
Each year, thousands of people from all walks of life head to Las Vegas, chasing a dream.
Pockets the 8-ball, avoids the scratch. What a match.
What a match, and what a comeback.
What begins as a hobby on a pool table in their local bar or pool room evolves through hard work, dedication, and even luck
There it goes again. Oh my God.
Wow.
into something bigger, something greater than anything they could have ever imagined.
I've got a 14-year-old boy at home that we play a lot in my garage, and because of that, he got to see me win this thing, and that's huge for me and him.
Few ever envisioned playing on a stage of this magnitude. But once they step foot into a sea of pool tables, as far as the eye can see,
317 tables at this year's event. We like to call it pool playing heaven.
the dream has been realized, and the competition begins. For nearly 10 days, they live this dream. And for a select few who manage to persevere, they return home champions. Part competition, part experience of a lifetime. The APA World Pool Championships has it all and more. So take a moment to let yourself dream. You never know where it might take you.
I'm Tammy Jones, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion.
I'm Linda Wang, and I'm the 2017 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Dana Aft, and I am the 2013 U.S. Amateur Champion.
My name is Kenneth Brisbane, and I am the 2014 U.S. Amateur Champion! Yes! Yeah, baby!
Las Vegas. For most, the ultimate party destination. A place to run wild and leave the routine behind. But for a pool player, it's so much more. Their ultimate goal, their grandest stage, their biggest moment. It's time to take your Vegas fate into your own hands. 1. Compete and win a local qualifier board to advance to a regional event. 2. Once there, be a top finisher in your own skill level tier. 3. Win a trip to Las Vegas to compete in the APA Pool Player Championships. 4. Own your biggest moment on pool's grandest stage. Take your Vegas fate into your own hands today. Realize your Vegas destiny tomorrow.
We come from all walks of life.
Different backgrounds.
Different abilities.
We all have different reasons for doing what we do.
But we're all one.
One love.
One passion.
One big family.
We are
American Pool Players.
American Pool Players.
American Pool Players.
And this is our league.
All right, so the players are back here in Pool Dog Championship Arena. Brian Parks leads 6-2. Scoreboard should be 6-2, not 5-2. 6-2, not 5-2. As we go into the 9-ball set here. Again, this is a race to 11, so we could see up to 13 games of 9-ball. But for that to happen, Ava, Ernesto's got some work to do.
If he can get to the table.
That's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
You know, 9-ball on a 7-foot table for these guys when, the cloth is new, it's sliding a lot, that makes the pockets bigger. Keeping the cue ball on the table and getting a shot at the next ball. Odds are against him.
1 in the 8 on the break.
Yes. Shot at the 2. Making the 2 down here. He'll try to come this way in this area to possibly play that, I would think, that combination. He could go all the way across too and play to break them up, depending on how much speed he puts on it here. Yep, he came up. That's perfect. All right, it's a very makeable, pretty easy combination. The question is really pay attention to where the 3-ball goes, and he came around really well. And like I said, the thing about this game is when you're in the chair, there's nothing you can do. You can talk to the pool gods, you can keep your fingers crossed, but all you can do is sit there and hope. And the worst part about this game is all the time you have to sit and think about the mistake you made for your opponent to get to the table. And that is a key to kind of get over. You got to let go and just wait for the next play. Don't dwell on the past and just focus on the next time you have an opportunity so that you can do yours without feeling exhausted for sitting in there and feeling depressed about what you did, the mistake you made. It's going to be a big lead here. It's 7-2. I would think he's going to make this 9-ball. But again, Ernesto gets a shot, and you never know, he could explode as well. So it's far from over. Race to 11. Starting to freewheel now.
Watch out.
Flirting with it. Oh, boy. And there was a good example of he knows his 2 rails to come across and hit that 9-ball with authority. But because the table is sliding, you got to be careful when a table has brand new cloth on it, especially out in Las Vegas where it's so dry here right now, especially in October. We haven't been here in October for the APA before, but the air is dry.
Yeah.
And that's going to make the rails slide even more.
I will say temperatures have been pretty fantastic here in
Great.
October.
It's like perfect
Mid
fall
70s
weather.
during the day. And,
a little chilly at night.
Yeah, in the evening you got to have a jacket or a sweatshirt or something on if you're out and about. Brian Parks now leading 7-2. Needs just 4 more games here. Has the break. Second game of the 9-ball set. And that is a dry break. So Ernesto, yet another window of opportunity. Try to get something going here in this match. This is one of the special exhibitions we had planned here at the World Pool Championships. We have one other special exhibition later in the week, I should mention. The Striking Viking, folks, on the pool table, believe it or not.
Oh, it's going to be a grudge match.
Taking on another legend.
Yeah.
An internet legend in Florian Venom Kohler. Striking Viking versus Venom. And we're going to pair you guys each up with an APA member.
That's going to be fun.
Do a little Pro-Am alternate shot doubles.
That's going to be a good time.
So you can look forward to that. That's going to be on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific. We will have that match here live on our Facebook page. That'll be Dr. Q and I calling the match. Ava and Flooring, obviously teaming up with a couple APA members. So if you're here on Wednesday, come down. They need teammates. We got to find them a couple of teammates. And they'll be playing APA 9-ball. Race to 50 points, I think, is what we're doing. Race to 50, so.
And we'll be taking it seriously, believe me. Like I said, it'll be a grudge match. Florian and I have been kind of woofing at each other a little bit.
So you packed your cue stick?
I did pack my cue stick.
Okay, first time in a while,
yeah.
Right? Nice, nice.
But we're going to have some fun with it, too. There'll be maybe a little trash talking. I'm just saying it could happen. Nice save there. Really good shot. This is going to be, I would have to say, it's almost coffee on this hit here. He might be able to hit down here, put some reverse to bring it back to make the 1, or at least make contact with the 1. He'd have to load it up with a lot of left to shorten the angle. But again, because the table slides, that's going to make it even tougher. You'd have to hit it real firm and with a ton of left draw to be able to do it. But I don't know. It's tough. He's got to try it the other way. That 6-ball looms large, but here we go. See if you can do it. He's hitting a lot of draw on this. And he just barely hit it. Oh, fouled. They changed camera on angle right when I was,
I think he got a piece of that ball first.
He did.
Ball in hand now for Brian. It has been all Brian the last several racks here. I mentioned Ernesto was on an 8-ball team that was eliminated from the tournament yesterday, but Brian just came into town. I don't know how much he's been playing up until this match. Knowing Brian, though, he's been playing somewhere. It's rare you run in either one of these guys without a cue stick in your hand. Well, at least it's rare for me because I only see him at pool tournaments. So,
yeah.
So it's not like I run into him at the grocery store.
Yeah. We're asking where we're from. I'm from Sweden originally, which is the kind of the basis for the Striking Viking nickname. So came here when I was 17 to play pro pool, follow my dream. And Jason, are you from Missouri originally?
Yeah, originally from the St. Louis area. So left for a few years for college down in Florida and then came back. But it's Halloween week, right? So Striking Viking, I got your Halloween costume. I brought it.
Oh, great. Oh, great.
I brought one for myself, too.
You should never be allowed to be in charge of anything,
I thought
Jason.
we got the finals the day before Halloween, so we got to do something Halloween-y.
Well, as long as you're wearing something, too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right.
Of course.
Don't just torture me with it. Good time.
You'll have to tune into our 9-ball World Championship to see what we're going to be for Halloween. Brian looks like he's going to be $1,000 richer for Halloween at the rate he's going here.
He's putting on a little bit of a mini clinic, and he's taking advantage of Ernesto's mistakes. Not to take anything away from him, he's playing really, really strong here. But a big part of that is taking advantage of when the other player messes up.
Absolutely.
He's making it look easy now. His cue ball control, he's finally kind of figured out this table. Nice and smooth. And you could see where he parked the cue ball. That's one thing that I harp on all the time is there's a reason so many people miss the 9 or miss the 8. It's because you play position on every ball on the table, and then all of a sudden you get to that last one and you try to all of a sudden just hit the tiny little dot on the object ball to make it. And you forget about the cue ball. And not only does that make it harder to make the shot itself, but on top of that, if you miss, you could see where he parked the cue ball almost frozen on the end rail. So if you were to miss it, that's just a habit. You always play position to kind of freeze that cue ball on the end rail if you can.
3 ball on the break there. Somebody said beers are on Brian tonight. That'll be a conversation you got to have with Mr. Parks.
I have a feeling Mr. Parks is going out to a really nice dinner, win or lose, with his mom and dad being here.
Yeah.
Treat them to a nice dinner.
They are playing on a 7-foot table here in Pool Dog Arena. This is the same table we'll utilize for both of the World Championships, which are still to be decided this week. 50,000 going to the winner of the 8-ball championship, 30,000 to the winner of the 9-ball championship. Ernesto plays a little safety there.
Good shot it was too. He's kind of blocked the kick here. Looks like he's going to have to, he's going to go 3 rails here to come down. I don't think he can get around this way and just go 1 rail. Well, yeah, he's eyeing it here. And have to juice this up with some right spin. Oh, way too much right. All right, so that was a nice defensive shot that worked.
And a chance for Ernesto to get in gear a little bit here.
It's time for him to go. Brian only needs 3 to take this championship, but Ernesto, if he could win 2-3 games right here and get it to about 8-5, it's anybody's game. But he's got to get something going. It's a little bit of a tricky rack, but it's all makeable. You just got to really move the cue ball around and pay attention here to cue ball position and find a pattern. A little bit of a tester there with the 4 and 5, and really have to get some good position on the 8, considering the 9 ball is right there next to it. So just a little work for Ernesto here to get back into this match. All right, it kind of dealt with the 8 ball there, so that was good.
Ernesto's out of Tomball, Texas, just outside the Houston area. Probably some folks back at Big Time Billiards in Spring, Texas, tuning in, watching Ernesto compete here. Ernesto sponsored by Brutal Game Gear. You can see him wearing the Brutal shirt.
Was it last year Ernesto won the 8 ball?
This year.
This
August,
year. Oh,
August,
this year.
2 months
this
ago.
year, that's
yeah.
right.
He's the reigning.
Well, it was last year and this year.
Yeah, yeah.
To be honest.
There you go. That's
it
fair
was
enough.
20 and 21.
He is the 2020-2021 8-ball classic champion. You are correct.
But these guys still aren't, it's not like they're unbeatable. I mean, we have seen plenty of finals without these 2 in them.
Oh, yeah.
So, but they've just been very, very consistent, very solid, both of them. And if you know, I say that to our players all the time. If you play, the more events you play in, oh, Ernesto.
Oh, no.
Wow. The more events you play in, the more of a chance you have to get here.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of times it seems like it's the same players, but they play in doubles, they play in ladies, they play in you know, in singles boards all the time and qualify through regionals. And so it's going to make sense that they have more odds of getting out here.
Yep.
All right, Ernesto, I think he's going to have to go for the bank here.
The thing that I like about these guys, obviously they've had a lot of individual success, but they also play on teams. They were on teams out here.
Oh, yeah.
And yet even with all the talent that they bring to their team's still, you know, Ernesto was eliminated yesterday.
Right.
So, you know, 3 days before. So just goes to show you that team composition, so important.
You bet.
Such a difficult road.
All right, good speed there. I had a little backup plan. You always want to bank the ball short, so if you do miss it, you could leave a situation like this as opposed to it rattling the pocket or coming long and then leaving it in front of the pocket. So at least he's got a chance to get back to the table. It's a kind of a difficult cut shot here if he does go for the cut. You need to hit, if you is going to go for this, it's such a thin hit. You got to hit it with some speed. If you hit it softly, the cue ball kind of drags the 8. And it's a much easier thing. You need a quick hit here to be able to hit it thin enough and have it get to the pocket. No. All right. Ernesto's plan worked. Nice smooth draw here with some right spin and bring it right back out for the 9.
Pockets that 8 in the corner. And 9 in the corner. Ernesto picks up his 3rd game, and he will now have the break, which it's been quite a while now since we've seen him with the break.
Right.
So Brian still leads 8-3 in this race to 11. Our referee, Brad Jones, preparing the rack. Mentioned earlier, but Brad is our league operator for Mid-America APA down in Cape Girardeau, Missouri. I believe he is a multi-time league operator of the year, if I'm not mistaken. He's had a lot of success as a league operator.
He does a really good job.
Very well regarded. He is also one of our referees for the U.S. Amateur Championship. One of the many volunteers out here this week from our league operator network.
A good player too in his own right.
Oh yeah.
Terrible golfer, but pretty good player. We're going out to play on Thursday,
okay.
so
You're getting in his
get
head.
something started.
Getting
yeah.
up in his head a little
Yeah.
bit. So he made a 4 on the break there, I believe.
Yep. And as tall as he is with the 7-foot table, he should be able to reach this. Not many people can, especially with the 5 being there. But he can't put much on the cue ball. He's going to have to hit it pretty much in the center, as you can see where the 3 is. Sometimes you just got to let the cue ball go a little bit.
Got the 2 on the break as well.
Might be able to put a little bit of outside and come around 2 rails and come back out for the 3 again. Unless he can hit it soft enough, I don't know. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Not as much angle there as I thought.
Appreciate all you folks tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying this special exhibition that we've set up here at the World Championships. This APA Legends match with Ernesto Bayaua. Ernesto currently at the table. His opponent, Brian Parks, 5-time U.S. Amateur Champion. These guys are competing for $1,000 in this winner-take-all match.
You know, it's like we said, it's kind of a fun match that was put together here we have this great arena and all this great setup and everything else, and figure we'd treat you guys to something
absolutely
extra other than just the 2 finals, which is, you know, going to be great. But we're out here for so long and we've had this set up, so why not do something fun? And we appreciate these guys stepping up.
Absolutely, and it was really cool because when I asked these guys if they were interested in doing this, they said sure, no condition. I mean, they didn't say how much are we playing for.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I was the one that said, well, we'll throw something out there for you guys to play for because I want to see ultra competitive as you can be. And
well, I think this is more as much of an honor match as it is about, you know, the $1,000. These guys want to have another little mini title to hang in, you know, the hat on. So.
In their rivalry, I mean, these guys have met dozens of times over the years in different, whether it's APA tournaments or other tournaments. So I'm sure they keep a little tally of who's gotten the better of who.
Yepper.
Although I couldn't get either one of them to commit to telling me who had won more matches between them. So a lot of respect between these two, no doubt.
Nice and smooth there.
All right,
right
Ernesto.
spin just coming around.
Chance to pick up his 4th game here.
It's like we said, it's not over till it's over, especially with 9-ball. One of them starts exploding, and you never know how this is going to end up.
Break and run there for Ernesto. Now trails by just 4 games. Well, you go back to that missed opportunity for him in the 8-ball set. You know, he would have had the break in 1 more game. So just goes to show you how the small mistakes, the littlest mistakes, make a big difference at this level of play. These guys just don't make many, and when they do, their opponent just capitalizes. Now seeing that here with Ernesto, trying to scratch and claw his way back in this match.
And somebody asked about next year if we're going to go back to having the more events here, and we are. We're going to kind of go back to a normal schedule again.
Yes.
The pandemic changed everything. Uh-oh, scratch.
Oh, no. He gets 2 balls on the break.
And look at that layout.
Yeah.
You might even come close to getting out here, Jason. It's, you know, about 70-30 against, but.
Oh, that's a tough
I'm
break
just
there
saying.
for Ernesto.
Yeah.
It's 2 balls on the break, including the 1 ball. And here Brian is at the table with a chance to run out here.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. And then he just needs 2, so that's he's obviously very capable of running those racks. Got to keep an eye on that cue ball on the break.
We will have more coverage from the APA World Championships on Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific. That's 6 p.m. for you, those of you on the East Coast. That will be the final of the 8-Ball World Championship. $50,000 to the winner there.
That's going to be 2 tired teams there.
It's going to be
through
it's going to be intense.
1,100
I mean, it's
teams.
always intense, but when you're talking about doubling the payout for this year,
yeah,
it's going to be intense, no doubt about it.
50 grand on the line.
All right, Brian with a chance to go up 9-4, and he does so by pocketing that 9 in the corner. Just 2 games away. We're just shy of 90 minutes into this match, kind of the pace that we had expected. Weren't sure if we'd see some heavy defensive battles during the 8-ball set, but not really. We saw one or two in that maybe second to last game.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was pretty offensive, you know, throughout. And it's been all offense here in 9-ball, with the exception of the safety Ernesto played there in that second game, I guess, to get the win and the break.
Well, in the end, 8-ball, once they found their breaks, like Ernesto in the beginning, he broke from straight on and it just was not working, so he changed it to the side break. Once they found their break, the table opened up beautifully, and at that point, it was just about, you know, not making an unforced error. So, yeah, it was a little more offensive once they got going. And in 9-ball, I mean, if you can see the 1 on a 7-foot table for these guys, it should have a good chance to go in. I think you might see a defensive shot here, though, Jason.
Get the 8 on the break there.
That's a tall order, making this 1 ball all the way down. He's got a lot of balls to be able to hide behind here. On a 9-foot table, you would never try to slice this ball in, but then again, you might go for the bank in the corner and play a defensive shot, 2-way shot. Oh.
They went for it, just couldn't
he got
quite
away
get
with it,
yeah.
too. The 1 ball landed on the correct side for him of the corner pocket. It lands on the other side, went back and forth, lands on the other side, then Ernesto would have had a shot. I don't think he can get between the 3 and 6 to go rail first either. I think he's going to have to go bottom, cushioning up. We'll see. You get a better view of it. He would love to be able to get between these 2 and kind of curve the cue ball, hit rail first. We'll see. He's jacking up. He's putting a lot of right spin on it. Oh, he jumped it. Look out, cue ball. Oh. Again, nothing seems to be going right for Ernesto right now. It's playing right into Brian's hands. Obviously couldn't have landed any better, and everything is open and looking real good for Brian to get on the hill here. Can't really see anything that could go wrong here. 4 to the 5 might be the only one. Now, the 3 ball being where it is, I can't see anything that's going to, unless he just makes a silly mistake somewhere. A little bit on the wrong side of this 4 ball. But he's going to draw it back and play it in the opposite corner instead. And the clock is ticking right now for Ernesto, Jason. Loud and clear.
Just the 9 ball remains here to put him on the hill. And that's no problem for the 5-time U.S. Amateur Champion, Brian Parks. Now leading 10-4, needs 1 more game, and he's gonna have $1,000 to spend however he might like here in Vegas. No,
he better take
no
his
limits on what to do with that
parents
here.
out
Yeah.
to go to the Edge, the steakhouse,
There you
and take
go.
care of them, or
There you go.
go somewhere else and get out and do something fun here.
That's
So,
right. Mom and Dad show up.
yeah, I have never seen them here before. I'm sure
Yeah.
they have been, but I haven't met them before. But really sweet.
Speaking of Mom and Dad, my well, I am a dad. My daughter's birthday today back home, so I'm gonna give a happy birthday to my daughter Harper. Turned
Little
8 years old
Harper.
today. It's tough for Dad to not be able to be there on her birthday, but she certainly understands. But all right,
You know, we run a league in Coastal Carolina, APA, in Myrtle Beach and Wilmington and Brunswick County down in North and South Carolina, and I completely spaced. My grandson had his 10th birthday.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, well, that was a week before his birthday because I got a phone call from him. He says, "Real nice, Momo." That's what he calls me. I said, "What? Real nice. You scheduled an APA tournament on my birthday?" I completely spaced. So I got yelled at pretty good there. but-
Yeah.
So work gets in the way
It's tough
of
balancing work
yeah,
and,
it is.
and home, and we get that. I think that's a challenge for a lot of folks. But all right, Ernesto,
This
this
what
is
it's-
it, buddy.
There's not much to do here. He's going to have to come up. What he'd like to do is hit a solid hit on this 1 ball, kind of aim it to hit a solid hit and play kind of medium speed, get a hit, get the 1 ball to get out behind these balls. He could also go deep down here, clip the 1 ball and go up with a cue ball, but you need to come up with a defensive shot here. You could obviously go for trying to make it, but 2 ball being guarded with it, the way it is on the other side of the table, I definitely would go for the defensive shot, and that's the first option there. Beautifully, beautifully done. But textbook.
Crowd appreciates that defensive shot from Ernesto there.
Same thing here. This is going to be if he can kick it. You put a little bit of spin on. Oh, he can hit it. Look at this. He got a window in there. How's that possible? Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. Did he get the cue ball up high enough? Oh, just snuggled behind that 7. That works. There's your defensive battle that we were asking about there,
Yeah.
Jason. They must have heard you. This one is tougher to get it safe out of. Unless he can go down to the bottom cushion. If he has to go side cushion, it is difficult to get a good defensive shot out of this. He's looking at the billiard. I think the side pocket is right where he wants to hit it, so he's going to have to lengthen and shorten the cue ball a little bit with either some reverse draw or some follow depending on which side of the side pocket he's going. Oh, a little too much, but that might work out. He went for the bank. Look out, cue ball. That was a little risky, but he's got some, he figures he's got a little bit of
wiggle room.
Yeah.
6-game wiggle room lead.
Yeah. But we've seen stranger things happen than that for sure, especially with a player like Ernesto.
Absolutely.
This would bring him within 5 if he can run out here. Nice little stun shot to go up. Oh, he went across. Okay. Nice speed control there.
If you're going to run 6 racks, you got to start with the first one. So here we go.
That's right. Well, this rack looks really friendly right now. He'd have to fight hard to not get out in this situation. All right. Ernesto's got a tempo going now, a really nice tempo. The question is it too late? I mean, everything has to go his way, and he's got to play pretty much flawlessly for him to have a chance to win here, especially with Brian on the hill. But a 10-5 is at least he's within range.
Oh, yeah. Stranger things have happened than
You
a guy
bet.
like Ernesto running several racks. So
You bet.
see if he can make this real interesting here.
A lot of it is going to come down to the break. We're at 10-5, guys. Thank you.
A 9 on the snap wouldn't hurt, would it?
Oh, look at the little mess there with the 6-7. It's going to be interesting to see here, you know, that there's a billiard here on the 6-9.
So he pocketed the 1 and the 2, right? 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5.
And he's got a shot on the 3. He could just come up and then see where the 6 ball and the 9 is. All he has to do is get the right angle position-wise to be able to just clip the 6 ball, and he should definitely be able to make that billiard on the 9. It's far enough away from the 6. Much rather that than trying to play some kind of a combo on the 6-7 or break them up and take a chance here. Yeah. All right, so he chose to get into it. Now he's going to have a tough shot on the 4 instead. Yuck. One good thing, it doesn't have to do much with the cue ball. The 5 is hanging in the pocket, so this is just a gotta make. Michael Smith asked if that he noticed that Ernesto doesn't take a lot of warm-up strokes or any warm-up strokes. Is that good or bad? You know what? It's a personal preference. Everybody's got their style. I know, like Vivian Villarreal on the women's tour, she would, you know, 1-2 stroke everything. Hardest shot in the world, the easiest tap in, same consistent thing. And if that works for you with your tempo where your eyes can catch up, but a lot of people can't do that. Some people take short, little, tiny warm-up strokes and then let go at the end. Some people stay down. So it depends. It depends. It's very individual. All right, there's a little crack in the armor there. A little surprise missed by Brian. We're going to see here. I think we're going to go defensively here. He's going to have to hit the left side of this 4 and try to have the cue ball go to the other side of the table. I don't think he can get a full hit on this 4. He might choose to kick safe. I think he's afraid of the scratch if he doesn't hit it thin enough when they're going directly into it. So, oh, nice shot. Nice shot. Somehow the crowd missed that one because that was a good shot.
Yeah. Glad you folks are enjoying this matchup of APA legends here.
Fun little bonus match,
A little something different that we decided to try out.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it also helps us get in gear for when we start the streaming of the World Championships. It's a nice little practice run, if you will. Make sure all the gear's working. And Ava and I are in stroke, right?
Yeah,
and our stream team is in stroke. So
remember, I got to get some water with a lozenge is under something because it's so dry here.
Yeah. I think we're supposed to get some rain.
Yeah, that's going to help get some humidity in here. All right, it's a good shot there. Needless to say, we'll see what Brian's going to do. And Ernesto might try to claw his, or not try, but he might claw his way back into this match. Ball in hand here, you're going to see that 9-ball move because of where the 6 and 7 is. So that's his hope. No such thing. Good hit. It took away the 4-9 combo. But he still has the 6-9 billiard. And the fact that the 8 is where it is. So if you look on the overhead again, you can see that if he can get anywhere in here, he can shoot. Let's say the cue ball gets here. He can shoot a billiard off, and this 8-ball really helps it. So even if he overcuts it, that makes that shot a lot easier.
Oh.
So, what happened?
I didn't see. Did he foul? Oh, no.
Oh, wow. Whoops. He's a little frustrated now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which is understandable. Hi, Mike McKinney.
He was looking at what you were saying, and then he just, he just got right up over the cue ball.
Why? I don't understand that. That billiard was an easy billiard, and now he's got a real tester the way he has to jack up on this shot. The good thing is that he's got fairly easy combination next. All he has to do is make this, but the way he's jacked up, it's not easy. No. All right, Ernesto's still alive.
Yeah, things have gotten a little loose here in this game. Crowd like that. As Ernesto now with 6 games, slowly but surely. He will have the break.
Yeah, we got game. 10-6.
Boy, and again, I mean, I hate to mention there was a couple of mistakes there that, I mean, these guys would be neck and neck if not for those couple of, in particular, that second to last game of the 8-ball set.
Yeah, I mean, you got to remember, too, that
Strong break.
as great as these two players are, they're amateur players.
Sure.
Pros miss.
Yeah.
So to think that there's not going to be mistakes, you know, players of this caliber are always going to have one of those matches here and there that was pretty much flawless.
Right.
But, you know, more often than not, there's going to be uncharacteristic misses and bad defensive shots or.
Well, and I know these guys both have a lot of experience playing on live stream matches in the arena here, but still, we've put them kind of on this pedestal.
Exactly.
You know, calling them APA legends in the crowd. I mean, so there's these guys are not impervious to nerves and the same things that a lot of you folks experience in your higher level matches, whether it's your, you know, your league playoffs or maybe it's your world qualifier you're playing in. But I guarantee you, these guys have to deal with the nerves just like we all do.
And I noticed that on kind of a local level too, when you have a team that has a 7 on it, they think that 7 is just going to automatically win every match he or she plays in, like it's just a given.
Right.
Well, they get nerves just like anybody else, and they can lose a match just like anybody else. So that's a lot of pressure to put on those guys, and you forget just because you're a 7 doesn't mean you have the nerves to go with it all the time. You know what I mean? Pros get nervous. So nervous that sometimes you can't breathe.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's just, you know, if you don't get nervous, I don't know if you're quite human. You don't care enough somehow. I love it when I can feel the nerves, and you know what I mean? And you just kind of, you get the adrenaline going.
Brian called the referee over, Brad Hall, or why am I saying Brad Hall? Brad Jones. Brad Hall, another league operator of ours, wanted to watch the hit. Just picking us up in your news feed, you're seeing the APA Legends match from here at Pool Dog Championship Arena, all part of the APA World Championships. Little special exhibition we have here this afternoon between these two outstanding players. Ernesto Bayaua at the table, 3-time 8-ball classic champion, most recently here in August. 2011 U.S. amateur champion. Was on a Masters team, took home the title. And both these guys will be playing in the 9-ball team event with their teams starting tomorrow night.
All right, not a lot of work to do here. Just about the angle on this 7, but I think it's going to be just fine working that out. Just don't want to be on the far side of it. Yeah, he decided to play it in the corner simply so that he could stay below the 7 to come out for the 8 instead of taking the easy shot in the side. You know, just make sure he gets an angle here, even if it's a big one, just like that. So easy, not, you know, to kind of try to get perfect on the 8, and all of a sudden you find yourself straight in on the rail, and you just made an easy out, really difficult. So,
chance to make it 10-7 if he can pocket this 9 in the corner. He does so.
Well done.
Trails
Here he
by
comes.
just 3 games, still has the break.
Don't count Ernesto out.
It's not that we're necessarily rooting for Ernesto, but we would like to see a Hill match.
Who doesn't like Hill matches?
We all like the Hill
close matches. It looked there for a while that Brian was just going to walk away with this.
Right.
Ernesto was really off his game, and then all of a sudden,
things have definitely gotten more interesting here. These guys play in this U.S. Amateur Championship format, which is a combination of 8-ball and 9-ball. They played 8 games of 8-ball before they moved into the 9-ball set. Winter break.
All right, got to make sure to keep the cue ball on the table. He had a mishap earlier. He's got to make sure to keep track of that cue ball. Try to park it in the middle of the table if you can. Cut break is not necessary on these tables. There you go. That's nice. It goes the 1 in the side. Made the 4-ball, 5-ball. And did that? Oh, wow. That 8-ball came last. It's always the last ball rolling on the table that messes everything up. Going from straight in on the 2-ball, easy run out, semi-easy, except for the 6, to this. Now you can push out. This is the USAM format, so jump cues are allowed.
Right.
You can push out, and a little bit different than your standard, where the equalizer handicap kind of comes in, so that we help the 2s and 3s a little bit better chance of beating our 7 monsters. But in this case, that you can go ahead and push out. Only thing I can think of here, unless he pushes out for a jump shot, if you can look overhead here, is probably, unless he can kick at it, would be parking it down here and then leaving a really tough shot on the 2. He's going to push out to a jump shot. All right. I think Brian's going to take that jump. Rarely do top players give the table back. Oh, he's going to do it.
He's giving it to him.
I would not. I would have got my jump cue in a second there. This is a makeable jump shot. You just got to pop it up real good because it's pretty much a full ball on this 8. It's off by a hair. But if he makes this, the beauty of that, he's going to go in with the cue ball, it looks like, into the 9-6. And that could solve the whole rack. So this is, needless to say, it's a big shot. But I'd still rather be at the table. Oh, well, here it goes. Here it goes. He'll take it.
Corner, absolutely.
He'll take it. And all of a sudden, like I said, you don't, it would take a lot for me to give up the table. Because I know the person that pushed out had a plan. So if I don't see the plan, I better hurry up and come up with one because they saw something. So once in a while it happens.
Yeah.
But
again, they're playing the U.S. Amateur Championship format, which is why they're allowed to do the push out and the use the jump cues. Pockets
nice
the 3 in the
stroke.
corner.
If you guys could see there how he followed through, just smooth as butter. And he was kind of jabbing at a few shots earlier in the match, but now that smooth Ernesto stroke is out in force. Combo's laying real good. All right, the combo is very makeable, needless to say. Even though it's kind of a backwards cut, you just got to get down and focus on that point of the rail, shoot the 6-ball to that point, and boom.
6-9 combo.
I'm telling you.
10-8. Make it 10-8. Ernesto retains the break. Well, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but Ernesto has certainly scratched and clawed his way back into this thing, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't easy. I mean, it wasn't like he was just straight breaking and running several racks. He's had to work for it here. He's putting in some overtime. We'll see if he can keep it going.
Yes, Matthew Bryson, we got game, baby. Here we go. Again, for those you're not familiar with the USAM rules, you can push out, which means you can push the cue ball anywhere on the table. The opponent then has the choice As long as you don't scratch, it doesn't matter what ball you hit, even including the one ball. But then the other player has a choice to go ahead and shoot, take the shot, which Brian Parks denied. He gave it back to Ernesto. That's how he, so it's not a foul. You declare it. It's only after the break that push shot is allowed.
Pocketed the 2 on the break. I'm looking at that one ball.
I believe it goes, here's your problem right here. That's something he'll have to deal with later. Right now, just come back out. It's going to slam the cue ball in, come back out. And if he has the angle to draw straight into the 5-7 right now, I think that would be, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if he does that or if he tries to go into it with a 4 instead. Yeah, he tried to go into him now, and how pretty was that?
Crowd approves as well. Nice round of applause for Ernesto.
Just hit that that smooth draw stroke, and the fact that he knew he could hit him solid in the 4 ball laying by the side. He didn't have to worry about getting in trouble there. So nice and smooth shot. And like I said, either one of these players are liable to run the rack. So Brian may have seen his last shot if Ernesto keeps going at this tempo that he is now. He's looking real good. Never over till it's over.
Absolutely right. Ernesto has played his best pool with his back against the wall here. Brian may be thinking about that push shot, or that push out he didn't want to take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you talked about it quite a bit.
Yep, most players do not give the table back. Oh, this is careless by Ernesto. Now, see, he's going to have to take, well, it's a makeable shot, obviously, on the 9, but I don't think he can cheat the pocket enough to come around. We'll see. Oh, yeah. Nice, smooth.
Very impressive. Add another one to the tally for Ernesto, folks. 10-9.
I'm going to address something here. David Butler said that we need to add the push-out rule to league. The reason why we don't is because the regular league isn't, you know, it's an amateur league where you have beginners, you have all the way up to guys at this level. And the only player it's going to benefit is, and by much, is the better player. So a 9-ball, you get a point for each ball. You could totally control the match as long as you don't scratch in if you're a better player. So 2 or a 1, getting ball in hand once in a while and having a chance to make some balls makes it a good close chance for both players to win. You put in things like jump shot, you put in things like push out, and it becomes a whole different deal. Different deal in USAM, Masters, that's fine, but not in our regular league. That will never happen.
Just when it looked like nothing was going to slow Ernesto down, he's got a dry break, and Brian is back at the table.
Not much to look at here, though, is it? He's going to have to play some D.
Well, this has turned into quite the match, folks. Hope you guys are enjoying it. This battle of APA legends here. Pool Dog Championship Arena at the Westgate, Las Vegas. Special exhibition match here. Both of these players agreed to get involved in. We are sure grateful for that.
Good D there. Get behind the 4 there, and that 7. That was good speed shots. Tough to control both balls. Normally you look to control the cue ball or the object ball that you're trying to hide, but that was kind of an overall really good shot. So we'll see if what kind of kick shot Ernesto Looks like he pretty much just has one option, and that's go to side rail. You can go rail for like 2 rails and coming down deep. No, he's going to tie these balls up. He's not even going to kick at it and give him ball in hand. That's an intentional foul. Well done. Brian's going, why'd you do that for?
What's up with that,
Yeah.
bro? What's up?
Well, he's forcing Brian to come with something here.
Yeah. We mentioned at one point during the match, and if you watch the pre-match interviews, these guys, very good friends, have known each other quite a long time. So, little friendly banter back and forth between them there.
No, I think I would hit and stick here.
Okay.
So in other words, you take the cue ball. Let me see the overhead rail kick. You take the cue ball, put it right here, right? Shoot the cue ball, hit and stick behind this 7. I mean, shoot the 1 ball down here, and you can break them open. And you try to kind of draw the cue ball in behind and freeze it to the 7 if possible. He's got a perfect opportunity to do that. Deal with the issue and get behind that 7. So if you can ball in hand, or at least a shot. There it is. Didn't break him open, but oh, get on the 9. Oh, we got it. Might have a billiard here. There's a billiard he'll definitely go for if he gets the chance and gets ball in hand because of the 2-5. Talk about a must hit, or he's going to jump it. Well, I think I would have to agree with that, although, because he can't, the 4 ball is in the way for the natural 1 rail kick. So the big shot here. Got a hit. Oh, well, at least he got the 9 ball out of there. Yeah. So I'm sure he favored that side of the 1 to make sure that he did not. Sometimes when you jump, you get a little bit of English on the cue ball, and it kind of curves once it hits down on the table. And the last thing he wanted was try to hit the fancy shot and hit the left side of the 1 and miss it altogether and leave that billiard. Now, Brian's going to have to work at it, but he's got ball in hand. He can come 1 rail deep and break these open. Right spin here. Well, got a bank. Do you go for it? Do you duck? 3 balls open. It's do or die. What's she gonna do here? Looks like he's queuing for the bank. No, a little backup plan there didn't hurt.
Ernesto trying to find a path to that 2 ball and a path to making this a hill match. He's been so impressive here with his back against the wall. I mean, just such little margin of error.
Yeah.
He was down, what, 10-4? Is it 10-4?
I think so. And it's not like, I mean, Brian hasn't done any major mistakes or anything. I mean, Ernesto's just been playing really strong.
Gear, yeah.
Oh.
Missed that 2 ball, though.
As we said that, this could be the end of that run right here. Ball in hand, open table. I don't see anything tricky. Maybe, what, 6 to the 7 if he gets out of line, but he would have to really get out of line. And just come out towards center table here, and, oh. Well, no, he's good. I think the only thing that can stop Brian Parks from running out here is nerves, because the pressure that Ernesto has put on him. Oh, speaking of, he's smiling. He's going, man, both of them are going, this is, I don't think they expected to feel the nerves as much, but they're both very competitive. They want to win.
Of course.
I don't care if they were playing in each other's basement. Nobody's going to play nice. They want to win, even though they're friends off the table.
Just 4 balls remain here for Brian to put this match away. Take home $1,000. Well, he's going to be here a while. I don't know if he's taking it home, but he'll have it.
Here's the bad angle I was talking about before. 6 to the 7 was the only one. So he's got kind of a funky angle here. It's totally the wrong. If he just follows it, he's looking at scratching. He's going to have to really put a lot of draw on this, some left spin, and got in a tough position. Just lost cue ball control there and got about the worst place he could have gotten on that 6. I'd have to cut this. I'm more of a cut than a bank person. There it is. And this should be all she wrote. What a way to work that out, Brian Parks.
Nicely done. Pockets that 8. Just the 9 ball remains. And there you have it, folks.
That's a good match, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about that match? Big round of applause for our 2 APA legends, Ernesto Bayaua, and our winner this afternoon, Mr. Brian Parks. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us, folks. All right, folks, so there you have it. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the APA Legends battle there. Mr. Brian Parks, Ernesto Bayaua. Brian gets the better of him here in this match. And we will be back with you on Tuesday. Tuesday, 3 o'clock.
Big one, the big one.
I think we're going to head down to the floor and see if we can't talk to these guys before we sign off here. So,
all right,
folks, appreciate you tuning in. Hang in there. We're going to go talk to these guys about their big win. So we're already live, right? We're here. We're still here at Pool Dog Championship Arena. Winner of the APA Legends match, Brian Parks. Things got a little interesting there. You went up, what, 10-4, 10-5, and Ernesto scratched and clawed his way back. How were you feeling?
Yeah, nervous.
Yeah.
I knew he was bound to put something together and come back. So he's a champion no matter what. So I got nervous a little bit, and fortunately I got a roll. So I actually should have missed the 3 ball, but it went in. So.
Yeah, how difficult is it to play a guy that you're so close with? I mean, you guys are obviously personal friends. You guys run into each other quite a bit wherever you're playing. You guys might run into each other here in the 9-ball team event if your teams go head-to-head.
Correct, yeah.
How difficult is that?
It is. It is. I respect his game a ton. Like, if we did this, say, 10 times, it might go 5-5. So, I mean, we're both pretty close as far as everything goes, so he's just taller than me. So
nice. And I'm curious if this little warm-up's you feel like this is gonna help you as you get into the 9-ball team again. Both of you guys playing on 9-ball teams. You've got a kind of a stressful match under your belt that you're able to win. You think that's gonna help you moving in the tournament?
Yeah, for sure. Anytime you're in the arena, it's a bonus. Usually you're not here till the very end, but it'll help both of us. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was an excellent match. We appreciate you guys agreeing to do it. We appreciate you folks tuning in back home. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and maybe we'll see you guys come Saturday here in the finals arena once again.
Let's hope so.
All right. Thanks again, buddy.
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
it, Brian.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks. Championship Arena with the finals of the 8-Ball World Championship. Be sure to tune in.